Hey everybody, good morning. How are you? It's a great Wednesday, May 15th today. Thought I'd join my stream here. As I've said before, I'm streaming every single day this week at 1500 GMT. So whatever that means in your time zone, I'm happy to join here. Really, Monday through Friday at the same time. Hopefully, we'll get some more viewers in today. I've had some great participation yesterday and looking forward to talking with more of you and getting to know more of you. I am streaming simultaneously on both YouTube and on X. I'll soon be streaming on LinkedIn also. But yeah, just as always, this is a stream to answer any questions that you might have. Kind of like when you were in college and your professors would have like their office hours where they would, sit in their office and they would just answer questions if somebody came by. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing here, as far as giving people access to a data scientist, a chief data scientist. So I've been a data scientist for more than 20 years. I've worked all around the world. I'm also a top data science voice on LinkedIn. Um, but happy to share my experience with all of you and anybody else that's interested. I I get questions from all kinds of people, questions from students, questions from people in the field, or other people who want to maybe make a career transition into data science. I'm certainly happy to talk with all of you. And then also my specialty is in helping executives run their data science teams a little bit better, as far as the different skills that are needed for data science and how to put those teams together and the team dynamics that go into running a data science team. So really those are kind of all of my competencies. And as I've talked before on other streams, and we certainly talked yesterday, data science is a little bit of a learned field. It's where you kind of have to learn from other people that are already in there, even though you already finished a course of study. So I equate it to like being a doctor or a lawyer, where a doctor or a lawyer first day on the job, they have a lot of academics behind them, but they really don't have a lot of the practical side behind it. So that's what I try to provide in my content and in streams, and when I work with people, trying to help people just kind of get accustomed to what actually is the work of being a data scientist on a day-to-day basis. So that's the purpose of my content, and that's the purpose of these streams, to help people learn. And I'm happy to be here with all of you until our time runs out. But I'm seeing a couple of people on this watching on the stream. So please don't be shy. Feel free to drop a message. Let me know where you're joining me from. I try to pick an hour where this is friendly to many time zones across the world. Perhaps not so much in Asia. I think I might miss some of the Asian time zones. But happy to be here as long as you guys want, and try to answer as many questions. So please just let me know where you're watching from. Are you a student in data science? Do you already work in the field? Just kind of let me know a little bit about you and what you're up to. For me personally, it's been a great start to the day. As I mentioned before in other streams, I get up early, I go walking, I take my dog on a long walk. We walk about 3.5 miles, which is a little bit more than 5 kilometers. We usually include a stop at Starbucks for coffee. That's my dog's favorite part because he gets a little pup cup at the Starbucks. But we take a long walk. We have our coffee at Starbucks. We sit outside a little bit, and we basically just try to start our day with some exercise, get the blood flowing, gets my blood to my brain, and starts generating ideas. I make different to-do lists for things that I have to do in my head, or sometimes I'll stop in the middle of my walk and I'll take out my phone and write down some notes or different things that I'm thinking about for the day, different ideas for content, different ideas for models, things along those lines. So great start to the day. We're having some great weather out here. Although it was a little bit warm this morning on my walk, and it's only going to get warmer because I do live in a very warm part of the country. I live on the west coast of the United States, so it's very warm out here. I know other places in the world are also getting some extreme heat, but that's what's going on in my world. Let me know what's going on in yours. I can watch the chat here for both X and for YouTube, so feel free to pop in and let me know what you're up to. Happy to hear from you and any other commentary you want to provide. So the week in data science started off fairly strong with two announcements, right? On Monday, we had OpenAI do their product announcement. On Tuesday, we had Google do their product announcement. Yesterday was Google. So let me know if you saw those announcements and what you thought of one, particularly around the Google one. I did see the Google one, and by the way, as I've said before, I'm always hesitant to share my opinions because I don't want to bias you as my audience, right? As a data scientist, I'm well aware of my own biases, and I don't want to pass them on to you. But I didn't really enjoy the Google event. I thought it was a little bit underwhelming. One of my predictions did come true, though, where I did think that they were going to be talking a little bit more about the image-based tools. So they are kind of headed in that direction because we really haven't heard about a lot about image-based tools from Google, right? They've kind of been a little bit slow in that regard. They've done some of the text tools just like OpenAI has, but we haven't really heard a lot about the image tool. So it looks like Google might be heading more and more in that direction. But otherwise, I thought that their other items they were okay. I think one of the challenges that Google's going to have is that some of their announcements, some of the features that they're excited about, really don't have broad appeal. They might have interesting appeal to people like us that are data scientists because we can understand what it means and how difficult it is. But to the average person on the street, the features that they announced really aren't great. They're not that exciting. For the most part, I'm referring to their announcement of context, right? That their context can now go up to 2 million tokens, which is interesting from a technical perspective. That's great. But that's not going to mean a whole lot to the average person on the street. And actually, it might not even mean a lot to you, even if you are a data scientist. I mean, 2 million tokens is a lot of tokens, right? I mean, you would have to have a very, very long conversation with Gemini to be able to even reach 1 million tokens. And then are you going to take advantage of that? Like, is that meaningful to you? Is that meaningful to you for you to say, hey, Gemini, I need help with something that we spoke about, 750,000 tokens ago? Well, depending on time and all that could be a while back. I mean, how often are you referring to a conversation that was a while back in time? I mean, right? That could be a while back in time. So how often are you referring back to a conversation that was 5-6 weeks ago, right? I mean, I don't know how long it would take you to write 750,000 tokens, or even let's just say 1 million tokens. How long would it even take you to write that? I mean, I think that if I remember, I'm trying to think about the numbers. I should have prepared these ahead of time, but I think that 120-page book, I want to say is something like 150,000 tokens, 200,000 tokens, something along those lines. So, I mean, how long would it take you to write something that long, right? Even if you did Gemini every single day, that's quite a bit of time, and nobody's on there every single day, right? So on a time basis, it might take you, I'm estimating here, just based on my own knowledge, but I'm guessing it would take you at least a year of consistent use of never restarting the conversation with Gemini to reach 1 million tokens. And then how often are you referring to something that you wrote back 5, 6, 7, 10 months ago? So is that a great feature? Is that a mild feature? I think that's still up for debate. Don't get me wrong. It's like I said, it's cool from a technical perspective that they can do that. it speaks to the size of the model that they're using and the resources that they're willing to put behind it. I mean, that's certainly amazing. But beneficial? Maybe, maybe not, right? I guess I'm not sure how excited I am about that in that regard. The imaging items were cool. It looks like they're not immediately available for release. You know, they're still taking their time with it, and that's understandable because the imaging and video side requires a whole different level of processing, of course. So I can understand why that would, be a slower rollout. But we'll see if those tools do grab a foothold in public use. I'm a little pessimistic about that, clearly, but we'll see what happens. As far as any other big company events, I don't think we have anything on the schedule for now. We get a little bit of a break. And by the way, I'm seeing 5 different viewers in the chat, so thanks for joining. And again, don't be shy. Feel free to introduce yourself and let me know what you're up to. But there's no other big announcements coming up. I think Anthropic had mentioned that they want to make some different changes or different announcements too, but I haven't really seen that on the calendar just yet. Presumably, they're going to improve their model, Claude. I have spent some time recently with Claude, and I'll be doing a video on that. I actually have quite a few videos coming up. But I didn't like that they limit you. I didn't realize that they limit you by how many prompts you could do. I was working with Claude to help me write some code, and they made quite a few mistakes. I was surprised at that. So I had to do a lot of redos and reprompt different things. But that was just eating into my ability to use the model more, right? So I was a little bit surprised that they cut you off after a certain time period. I think I was using it between the hours of 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. And then at some point, right around 11 a.m., it said that I had run out of prompts, and I couldn't prompt again until 3 p.m. So it gave me like a 4-hour timeout, right? And I thought that was very interesting because most companies right now are excited to have you use it. I've never run into a timeout or some sort of limit on OpenAI. So really surprised to see that. I don't know what that indicates. If that indicates maybe that they're limiting the usage, that they're pushing you towards the paid model, that they don't have enough resources to handle free usage, right? I mean, it costs them money to do that. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I was kind of surprised that Anthropic throttles people like that, and such a long throttle too. I mean, 4 hours. 4 hours. I'm not coming back. I don't think most people are coming back, right? You're going to move on to do other things with the rest of your day, right? Or you're going to use another LLM. So I was a little surprised by that, but that's just the way they've decided to run their product. So we'll see if Anthropic has any other events or any other releases coming up. They're a little bit of the dark horse in this LLM race. Certainly, OpenAI is the most popular, but we'll see if there's anything else that comes from Anthropic. I'm seeing almost 10 people in the chat, so please feel free to join in and send me your comments. Let me know how you're doing. Just, you don't have to be an advanced data scientist. I get plenty of questions from students or other people that are just data science curious. So happy to interact with you. Let me, drop me a comment in the chats. And if you send me something good, I'll put it up on the screen for everybody to see. So this way the YouTube people can see the X chat and vice versa. But let me know what you're up to. Let me know what your plans are for Wednesday. On my end, I'm gonna do some more work towards my content and some clients today. It's just a beautiful day out. I might actually use the pool today, and it's gonna be a beautiful day for the pool. So I'm considering doing that later. Immediately after I finish this stream, I'm gonna go have my breakfast, or I'm gonna go finish my breakfast. When I get back from walking, because I do walk a pretty good distance, like more than 5 kilometers, I come back, I'm really hungry. So I I make a breakfast and I eat half of it before this stream and then the other half afterwards. Um, but other than that, like I said, I'm going to do some work for clients and maybe enjoy some pool time this afternoon. Let me know what you're up to this afternoon. Another thing I'll be doing today is I'll be monitoring my social media for replies and questions on my video today, because today I actually released some brand new research that I've done. I conducted something that I'm naming the Public Attitude Towards Data and Towards Artificial Intelligence Survey, and that's a series of 16 questions that I asked a number of respondents about artificial intelligence and what their attitudes were towards it. So really proud of that research study, really happy that it's now out there. I asked everything about jobs, about self-driving vehicles, about government regulation of AI. So I think that there's a lot of really interesting studies in there, like interesting results in there. I published a video that contains the highlights of the study results. And then the study itself is freely downloadable, freely available. I'm not charging anything for it. I'm just putting the information out there because I think it's interesting. Now, where I think that type of study gets really interesting is in the trends, is in being able to monitor the trends over time. And I'm going to be doing that with this study. I'm going to be doing that because AI is just progressing at such a fast pace, right? That there's new tools coming out all the time, new advancements in existing tools all the time. One of my hypotheses is that the advancement in AI will happen so much quicker than people give it credit for. You know, the way these algorithms are trained, the way they learn, the computing power that's available, it can make the growth and the developments much faster than any other products we've seen in the past. So I think that the progress is going to happen very quickly. So it's a study that I'm looking to repeat on on a quarterly basis, because I think that attitudes are going to change quite fast. So it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing the initial reactions to, and something that I'm looking forward to conducting on a continual basis, because the again I think it's going to be fast, and the changes are going to be really fast, really shocking to people about how good some of these tools are going to get. Personally, I've been using it more and more, using LLMs more and more to write code, and I have been really pleasantly surprised by how effective it is at writing code. Um, the speed at which it can write code, the quality at which it can write it is pretty impressive. Um, I've been asking it. You know, obviously, I can write code on my own and write the basic things that I need, and even the advanced things that I need. Where I've been using it more is I've been using it to generate code using libraries and APIs that I may not be familiar with. So, for example, yesterday I was doing some work with the Dropbox API. You know, moving files back and forth within Dropbox. And I know Dropbox as a product, but I don't know it as an API. So I looked at the documentation, you know, and you can go to the GitHub, you know, just kind of your traditional things. But instead of, you know, kind of hacking through that on my own, I asked Claude. I was actually using Claude for this, to write the code for me. You know, simply because I didn't want to have to navigate a brand new API document. You know, if Claude already knew the document, then it can go through and do it for me. And it did a pretty good job. As I mentioned before, it did make some mistakes. It made some surprising mistakes in the way I was asking it to manipulate some data. But as far as giving me the framework to be able to say, here's a really good method to how to access Dropbox and do a couple different functions, it was really effective for that. It was really effective to kind of save me that headache of learning a new API document, and you know, and you kind of piece together different snippets of code you find, and you know, kind of just, you know, hack things together, right? But now, you know, it was basically all about how effective I could be at not implementing the API, but asking about the API and saying, well, here, how would I do this? How would I do this? Show me the code for this. So I've been surprised at how effective they are for code, which means that they're going to be effective for a lot of things in the future, right? A lot of tools that are still going to be able to use AI in the background and advance in different ways. So I'm really excited to see where that's headed. I think the progress is going to come a lot faster than what we think. So that's why I'll be conducting that study on a continual basis, because I think that public attitudes are also going to change. Some are going to change for the better, and some might actually change for the worse. I have some questions in my survey about self-driving vehicles. Again, I hate that I'm biasing you guys as my audience, but I have a feeling that some of the attitudes towards self-driving vehicles might change over time. They might actually turn a little bit more negative than what they are now. But that's my hypothesis. I'm willing to keep an open mind. I'm willing to do the research and collect the data and see what the data tells me. But I do have a feeling that those sentiments might change over time, and not in a good way. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what some of this data brings out. I'm really proud of being able to put this study together and be able to publish it out. I've always dreamt of being able to kind of do my own research end to end, and I'm doing this all on my own. It's my own money that's funding this, my own design, and my own conclusions that I'm doing for the reports. And again, I'm happy to provide the reports to anybody that wants it. But yeah, that's really kind of what's going on in my world. So let me know what's going on in your world. Coming up on 25 minutes here. So if I don't get any other questions, I might wrap this up early. But if you're watching, I appreciate you watching. Please make sure that you follow my accounts either on YouTube or on X. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram, but I don't really stream there. I mostly stream on X and YouTube. I'll also be streaming on LinkedIn shortly. But let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're up to, and please click on the like button. Please upvote my stream. Kind of helps bring other people to the channel and helps encourage me to keep going with all this content. So let me know what you're up to. Don't be shy. Drop something in the comments and let me know that you're out there. And let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Also, I forgot to mention that I did pass 700 followers on X yesterday. So pretty proud of that. Pretty happy that I was able to reach that number. It's been a lot of work to get there. I'm averaging about 100 new followers every month, roughly speaking. But it's been great to do that. Hopefully in a couple months, I'll be able to reach 1,000. We'll see how that goes. Maybe by the end of summer or so, I'll be at 1,000. But appreciate all the support from you guys. Like I said, please click on the like and follow. My DMs on Twitter are open. Feel free to reach me there. But yeah, happy to have you guys here. I'll be streaming again tomorrow and Friday. I've pledged to do this Monday through Friday. But thanks for spending some time with me today. If there's anything I can help you with, just let me know. But I will see you guys again tomorrow. I'll see you next time.